Hello. This is Jumpstand Podcast, and my name is Ikat. Today we've got a new guest in our studio, and his name is Oleksii. Hi, Oleksii. How are you doing?
Hi, Ikat. I'm super happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm truly excited to talk about stuff which is actually my favorite topic.
I'm so happy having you here. So let's do it in the standard way. First of all, I would like you to introduce yourself and explain or tell to our subscribers, how do you call them? Exactly. So the people who love this podcast, just tell what you do for a living, what is your specialization, what is your profession, and whatever you wish to share, just go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Oleksii, and I would describe myself as IT specialist. So whole my life I spent working on something related to IT. I started with web design in early 20s and was really excited of opportunity to work with technologies and see their visual impact. Because to be honest, back then, working for insurance company or bank was not so checked because, it was just numbers grinding.
Yeah.
But web design was really talking to me. And the next step was in 2008 when first iPhone has arrived, and that was really impressive device. Back then, I, to be honest, did not have money to buy one for myself, but I influenced my management in the company that we should try to work with this technology. And since then, for the last 15, 16 years, I've been working in the field of mobile development.
This is nice.
It started back in Ukraine for consulting company, doing small project for different customers. Then 13 years ago, I moved to Austria and worked for two local startups. Both were really exciting opportunities to work on the product, to focus on the quality, to allow to build impact over the years. First one was called Tripwolf. It was producing travel guides back then when European roaming was not a thing. And another one was Bike Map. I spent 7 years there.
That's an amazing one.
Yes. I love cycling, and Bike Map produced navigation for cyclists.
Yeah.
So I always have opportunity to check my work immediately to see how it works.
I remember, sorry for interrupting, I remember this app, and I know that you were working for a long time on that. I didn't know that you were a web designer. That's an interesting opening, to be honest. I didn't notice that at the beginning of your career.
That was many years ago, and you might remember for one of our internal parties, I built small website for voting for Secret Santa.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, wow. Yeah, that's quite impressive. Well, I know that you can do everything, to be honest, everything related to IT. So it was not a surprise for me. However, that you were in this, more creative, imaginary or designing area at the beginning, that's a nice start. However, it always goes together, right? If we're talking about design and architect. I am curious more about the architect itself, because the impact that you are bringing, it's actually, and your specialization, it's the mobile architect. And you started in different industries, went through the whole career from one app to another. And my question is actually, how did this cycle go for you? Because one thing you're doing the mapping or biking apps, and now you are working in absolutely different industry. It's kind of like quite a jump still. How do you feel? Do you feel the change? Let's say it that way.
Yes, I would say that currently I'm much less developing and much more planning person.
Okay.
But the whole my path was evolution and the way to reach this point. Because even in Bike Map 3 years ago, I took responsibility of head of iOS department. Let's be honest, it was pretty small department, but still I was much more involved in product decisions and in taking decisions on the app development, how we introduce new features, how we structure the project, stuff like this.
More strategic, right? It's not only processing, it's strategic. Yeah.
Yes, and my previous experience as developer helped me to know limitations, what trade-offs it brings for any decision, and it helped a lot to discuss with business persons, with growth persons, with our designers, how we should actually develop the product. And next step in my career happened relatively recently. In beginning of December, I joined Willhaben. It's a big local brand in Austria, well known. It's a first place marketplace in Austria, and of course, it's a much bigger project. So when working with the teams up to 40 people, I suddenly switched to the company with 350 people.
Well, 40 people, it's also a lot of people. For a startup, it's many, to be honest.
Yes. And their challenges are much more significant on one hand. On the other hand, I have colleagues who help me to overcome them. I could consult with developers with expert knowledge on the product. I could talk with stakeholders who really have been working with Willhaben for 10 years and they really know DNA of the project. And my role now is, on one hand, to guard technical architecture of the product.
Yes.
I will add a bit more words later.
Well, let's still focus on this technical architecture. What does it actually mean?
It means the ways how the product is organized internally. And on the first look, it might be not so significant because users just getting UI and some functionality.
Yeah.
But in terms of business, it's crucial because it really affects how quickly you can deliver new features. Because in many projects over the years, you building upon. You adding one part here, one part there.
Yeah.
And at the end, let's be honest, it becomes a mess.
Yes, that's
you
true.
have heard this term legacy in IT and technical debt.
Right.
And the more technical debt you take, technical debt basically means that you taking some time, you making some things quicker with intention to fix them afterwards.
Correct.
When
yes.
this afterwards never come, the progress becomes so slow that company starts stagnating on the technical side. New features taking months instead of weeks.
To say years.
And it is really important to draw this line between, okay, we satisfying stakeholders and, hey, we would like to keep our product modern and technically light to be able to deliver in the future.
I like that you said technically light. It's an interesting impression. Well, if I say that you're trying to keep quite stagnated or let's say rigid business or big business more agile, is it correct? That's the thing you're doing? You're making it more flexible, right?
Definitely. It comes with modularization when the huge project, instead of being, let's say, pile of messed code, becomes separate models. Small teams could work on those separate models without hitting each other with elbows. It's about data layers, how abstract they could be. So let's say you started with an analytics provider and it was fine when you have just 500,000 customers.
Yeah.
Now you have 4 million or 10 million. You need to switch analytics provider. If you build your architecture right, it's plug and play. You remove one provider, you put another more powerful, and you continue. If your analytics logic distributed through the whole app, it's half a year project. You need to change it everywhere. So my role here is to take rational solutions, which on one hand satisfy stakeholders, on the other minimize technical debt in the app.
Okay, let's try to simplify. So if you can give an example how it was before and how it or what it turned into right now, right? If we're talking within the company, within the process, for example, before you came, it was like that. Now we are doing that this way. Of course, don't open up or go through NDA. That's not what I'm looking for. But simple example of what if I am your colleague, how did you simplify my life so far?
Let's take some very general example from the industry. Everybody prefer native mobile apps because they're sleek, they support last system features, but there's always temptation to quickly add something via web views. So let's show some banner.
Right.
They're usually more or less ugly. They don't align with design of the app. They're flickering because web view requires loading in real time. And it is something which technical people prefer avoid. And on the other hand, for business people, it's a way to go because it's visual. I see it in the browser. Right. Let's add it to the app.
Usual conversation.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we see a number of crashes because web view was not fully loaded or contained some scripts, some tracking logic, which was overheating processor or taking too much battery and system killed the app.
How did you fix it?
You switch to native implementation. It is much more complex from technical perspective and brings own trade-offs for people who design those banners, but it's much more robust. Good. It looks like native part of the app. It works as fast as other system components and you fully in control of it.
That's good. Well, I love control. Actually, I was so excited when I saw on your LinkedIn that you changed the position and you went to Willhaben. I was like, I like Willhaben, right? It's a marketplace that everyone is using for different services or different goals. However, the interface and many other things were, let's say, not up to date. And of course, when the whole world is, moving faster, I expected from this dinosaur, like a big first platform, to be much more proactive and efficient. When I saw that you are going there, I was like, God bless, finally, because I really believe that you are a great specialist and things are going to change. I've seen you during the work. I've seen you in TripWolf also. I know exactly how you are precise with the details, and it's great feature and skill for the tech person, of course. So yeah, I'm waiting for not only internal changes, but also external changes. So tell me, as for the user, I understand that some things, for example, the platform is not going to crash when I'm going to use it, right, and so on. But for me as a user, what is coming? What can you share, actually? What is coming? Maybe Willhaben already posted something. To be honest, I didn't check the news. What is coming for me as a user? I want to have more features.
It's already here.
Okay.
If you else user, just 1 month ago, we finally released the update to Liquid Glass, last paradigm of the Apple, and this was done by my amazing colleagues. Again, I participated in my role in the way that I organized workshop with the Apple to get some more context how we can implement this in such big app. I talked with product people how we can fit it in our roadmap, because obviously we working on other features in parallel, but I felt that this change is really necessary to keep app feel modern, and it allows under the hood a lot of improvements for the users as well. For example, when we're talking about accessibility, elderly people often use Willhaben to sell something,
right,
and they would like to increase font size, and it's much easier with new interface. VoiceOver, when you barely see something, but you would like to ensure that you buying this particular chair and not a fancy designer one for 100,000 euros. Yeah. You can hear confirmation that you're really selecting this element. This one of visually apparent changes, also part of my responsibilities, because I knew that Apple allowed to use old design paradigm till August of 2026.
Yeah.
So for me, it was easy to sell this to management, saying, hey, we need to do this anyway. Why not do it right away?
Yeah.
And I think it worked pretty nicely. There are more changes to come. But yeah, we will need time for this. And again, we would like to balance value for the user and bells and whistles, let's put it this way.
Well, that's the most interesting, I think, from what you are doing. You are trying to, make the simple experience for the users, having the quite complex background behind. So it's like complex work behind, which transforms it to the simpler use for the users, if I can say so. Well, I will bring you back to your other apps and other projects you're working with. I'm really interested in this bike mapping project. I've got one person I know who was also at the beginning of the development of the running app, one of the most famous here that has been sold to Adidas eventually. Exactly. Mike, we're waiting for you in this podcast. You promised me. You really did. So... yeah, and I was always curious. Well, I understand how the idea can come up, right? How you can come up with the idea. It became extremely popular to find the people, like salespeople like me, or very extrovert people like me, and then the IT specialists like you, for example. Not say that you're introvert, but let's say you are more precise. You've got really different set of skills, and in combination, these people usually create or used to create before quite cool apps, right? Right now, market changed, AI is here, and we've got a lot of different new startups and projects and so on. And let's say the business model has changed a lot. However, I remember those times when, all these apps were created in the garage or something like that. Tell me, how did you actually end up in this company? How did you come to the bike mapping, right? I'm curious how you met these people, or how did it look like at the beginning? And 7 years, it's a long period of time. Why eventually did you leave?
Yeah. First question, how I appeared there, it was basically recommendation. When Triple project was stopped due to business reasons, one of my former bosses from Triple was in advisory board of BikeMap.
Yeah.
He worked with me. So he said, hey, you might need this guy. And I went for the interview, and I really liked people because they were very passionate about the topic, and I see potential in the project. And I think it was clear that this would be personal growth for me. Back then I switched from Objective-C to Swift, and using new language was challenging but fun.
I can imagine, yeah.
And over the years I learned a lot, and funny enough I learned a lot of soft skills because my boss Patrick Wolowitz, who was head of iOS department before me, he's a fantastic guy. Maybe I could try to motivate him to do podcast with you.
Actually,
because
that would be amazing.
He has huge consulting experience. Over the years, he working with City of Vienna, he helped BikeMap, he helped some international companies. And his strength is that he is not only brilliant technical specialist, but also very good manager, coordinator, and mentor. So
nice.
I enjoyed a lot working with him. It was never officially mentoring process, but I learned so much. And I think this helped me to step in his shoes when he stopped working for BikeMap. And of course, I currently use this knowledge every day.
Oleksii, I will call you every day after that, just to remind you that you promised me to talk to him. That's great. Thank you very much. I will grab this opportunity. Well, tell me again, why did you leave eventually? 7 years, long period of time. And I think you've seen in these 7 years, so many things changed. Really, this digitalization process, the progress, market change, the geopolitical situation, it all affected everyone, of course. And I actually was quite, not to say upset, but it was pity for me to understand that I might be choose not the right profession at the very beginning, not to say the profession industry, right? Because I just digging into the AI, IT, digitalization in the last 5 years max, and it's not enough. I understand that people with your experience, of course, quite ahead, and everyone will have to have this type of skills. I still believe that managers, as you said, I'm meeting many technical guys, and they say that they gain more soft skills because it's needed. You are public and society kind of like demand you to go out, step out, explain things, and to be there visible, because we're talking about many things: that data protection, the communication itself, the money, and the investments. So it's all tech controlled. Let's say it that way. So I also got the feeling that I need to gain a lot of technical skills, being soft skill person. That sounds very nice. But it's needed because all my friends who are managers in different industries or different departments, they are torturing Claude, torturing other platforms that help actually do things.
Fun.
They do because companies are paying for that. And they do. And it works, right? It works very well so far already.
Yes.
So when I ask people, what do you think is going to change in the following 10 years? What's going to change with AI? Is it going to be better? People usually say it's already very good.
No, it's evolving, and the step pace with which it's evolving is really fascinating. Yeah. I would say that revolution started in 2023 with ChatGPT 3.5.
Yep.
Then another huge leap was I think in April or May of 2025, so recent, with introducing agentic coding. And now already people talking about, hey, agentic coding, it's nice, but what about harness for agentic coding? So it develops really blazingly fast. So when previously you could evaluate some technology, check some framework and say, yeah, I don't like it, and be settled for next few years. Nowadays, you check AI, how it performs certain tasks. It's not fully satisfying. You have to check in 2 months because it might be already there.
That's true. That's exactly what happened to Milhaben recently. I was like, is it already there? Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I would say AI will become more and more approachable, and there are already a lot of effort to make it used by as many people as possible. So as an example, I have a brilliant product manager who uses already to refine acceptance criteria. He doesn't create Jira tickets anymore. Mm-hmm. He asks AI
to do
and
so, yeah.
He prefers to use desktop application, which arrived 2 months ago. Before it was not possible for him because, I would say not very pleasant for him because previously agentic interfaces were mostly command line interfaces. You need to open terminal and, you need to set it up. And now this gap is eliminated. So for him, it's much easier to do something by himself.
This is, on one side, it's great, but that's exactly what I am worried about. That you said about the tech mess that has been created during the years, right? We also got many startups or different type of, not only applications, but the projects, which actually going to create a lot of mess in the future. It's just the amount of everything, and I'm always bringing it up in all the conversation, the amount of new things which are coming, it's enormous. You can't perceive it being just an employee in just specific industry and so on. It's too much. It's too many. How to pick the one that is actually the right quality? Do you think it's better to have someone in-house? What if it's a small company and can't afford the IT guy or master in-house, right? Or the architect, developer, or if it's really too complex and too expensive for the company, how to pick the right app to work with? How to do that if we've got too many of them?
It's an interesting question, right? But for me, nowadays, planning architecture and advice and guiding agents is very important.
That's the core.
What you're referring is more related to vibe coding when you just talk with AI, asking to do things without providing guidance.
For example,
it's perfect for creating short-living prototypes. For the startup, it might be okay on the short term, but on the long term, you're absolutely right. It will, if you just adding things without thinking how they organized in between, it could quickly become a mess. And there are even open positions on the internet when people trying to hire some senior specialist to help them out to sort out this mess. Like, I web coded this app and it works, but I cannot add anything there anymore because it breaks. And
sorry for that.
I would say that technical specialists will be always required, and it is become competitive advantage of the business if they know what they're doing on technical side. Usually it's the responsibility of CTO to guide this way and his lieutenants to help him there. But those companies who put good base for their projects should not have any problems in the future, because I can provide an argument because AI working on code base pick up patterns from this code base. If you have done some spaghetti code, AI assumes, you like spaghetti code. Well, let's add a bit more on top and with a bit of sauce. And if you provide strict structure, hierarchical structure, when you have good specification with description of dependencies, then when you ask AI to add additional feature, it analyzes the project, it should be a separate one, model, with dependency on this one, well documented, all done. And then
I understand,
accelerates you instead of slowing you down.
So it's kind of like you've got the specific input, and of course you've got the output, the same quality at least, right? But that you're talking about the product itself. I'm wondering if we're looking in the market as the market of products, right? Of different products. There are some products which I find ridiculous already because they really do some small thing and maybe it brings efficiency to specific industries or specialists and so on. But it's so small that I don't even understand why do we have it at all. But still, probably there is a demand. That's why there is a response. However, if we're going to have the opportunity, if I have an opportunity to create or code, 25 different platforms or programs during the week, can you imagine how much of mass we're going to have on the market in the future? Because more or less right now, taking the European law, for example, everyone can apply with different type of startups, with different type of ideas, and many of them actually pass through right now. If you mention that it's AI, it gets so attractive for the budget, for the government budget. In the future, I see it's going to be a problem because I don't see the scheduled success. Because, of course, they're showing business plan. In 2-3 years, it's going to be this type of result. That's going to help that industry in these services and so on. Basically, so 70%, it's kind of like not showing the results.
So I have no business degree. Please take my words with a grain of salt.
Just your feeling.
I think it's completely normal. It's evolution.
Also,
many competitors trying to go on the market and get some pieces of it. This happened during .com boom.
So it's a trend. You think it's a trend?
It is trend. It's part of life in general. So you have area to expand. You expand with own meaning possible. And I explicitly mentioned that having vibe-coded prototype, it might be enough because you checking market fit first. You don't want to invest 3 years of development to realize, nobody needs this.
Yep,
you vibe code it over the night, showing it's buggy, but it shows concept.
Yeah.
If you suddenly get 1,000 users, wait a second, this might actually fly. And then you invest more time and money in building proper architecture, hiring proper specialists, getting consultancy, whatever you need to ensure that you have basement for and good starting point.
So do you think that AI helping us to be more efficient, or it helps us to build more products?
Both, I would say. So as a software developer, I become much more efficient in my everyday work, and AI very good in eliminating some boring elements when, okay, I need to add some 10 methods which are pretty similar or add additional tests to my project. It's not exciting, let's put it this way. I could do this for me when I'm thinking actually about interesting problem. And on the other hand, yes, it helps to produce more. It might be questionable from technical quality, but it helps again to validate ideas. And it's, I think, common agreement in community that this is also valid, because how many people before had brilliant idea but no chance to prove it, because you come with notepad, you draw some things on the paper.
It's not enough, Simulation is not.
It does not sell. When you coming with prototype on your phone, it's already working. Yeah, maybe not ideal, but still it's already there. You can touch it and you can build upon. And suddenly, well, I expect to get some very nice ideas. Of course, there are side effects, and we are humanity, not always very ethical. I heard about developers creating 100 apps during 1 month, publishing them in a store, earning 5,000 per month with them, without any plans to maintain those apps, without any care about the quality. So they might be buggy, but they, reap the harvest. It happens as well. Big brands, or how to say, stores already taking care of this. Apple adjusted guideline policies on reviewing the apps. They will be much more strict about duplication of content.
That's good.
If it's 500 first to-do list, probably humanity doesn't need one. But again, it still gives a lot of space for new ideas.
Absolutely, I agree with you. That's exactly what I expected to hear from you, actually. To be honest, I'm reading a lot about the dementia and the memory problem. And they highlighted also that due to the use of different type of technologies right now, and ChatGPT became open, which I really like, of course, at the very beginning, when they publish it, when they make the users like all over the world to use it, of course, right? So that was the real change. However, they also show that there is a drop into the memory capacity. And the skills that new generation should have, it's absolutely different from what, for example, you and I have from our generation. I don't know if it's good or bad, because basically if I can, for any task, create my own AI that actually does the work, some of the work. I've heard already that some friends of mine, they're using many platforms and it covers 55% of their work. Which is cool as long as if it's good quality, right? And if you've got the controller behind that. But the fact that we're not using the memory the way we did before, and we don't have these new neural connections, growing, it affects the health, lifestyle, and other things. On one side, I think that efficiency, it's cool. I don't want people to work or to live for working, right? It's a better other way around. So I want society to be more free, to have the home office more often, or to work from any parts of the world they wish, and so on. So dedicate their life to life. On the other side, I understand that some skills are actually disappearing. For example, memory. You don't need to remember things anymore. You just rely on the phone or any type of device that you can check it, right? That is a little bit sad. I don't think that it's healthy, to be honest. It's much better to have the very, very solid and high quality conversation. Knowing, I'm not expecting for you to quote any big authors or something, but at least to have very good memory impression in case nothing works. that you can actually react and do something manually. And that's important. Well, that was just step out. What I wanted to ask you about the area of AI in general. During your daily work, what type of agents you're using? What is your common kind of like range of agents that you're using?
Using mostly Claude Code, Codex, and Gemini.
Yeah.
And well,
why did you decide to go with Gemini? Because it's just because it's Google, or?
Yes, it's Google, and they have really good offers for the business. Because when you're running this on a corporate level, you don't want to use some free open service, which on one hand helps you, on the other hand could leak your data to train model on them. And a lot of organizations have Google Workspace already in place with users, and Gemini comes naturally as extension of the thing.
That's good. What about your daily life? Because that's the corporate, right, set. What about the daily life? Do you use what apps do you usually use?
Yeah, I use ChatGPT a lot, and Codex as a coding agent for ChatGPT. And I use Perplexity if I want more focus on the search and get quick results. Sometimes ChatGPT feels a bit slow. I know my question is trivial, but I don't remember it right now, so Perplexity answers always immediately.
Yeah.
I used Granola for a while. It's a service which allows to transcript meetings.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a really good one because you talked for 1 hour, you barely remember what you promised in first 15 minutes.
Speaking
and then
of the memory, right?
after the meeting, you get a transcript with highlights. And I also use Whisperflow. It's an app which translates your voice into text with correction. I'm currently looking to replace it with some local model.
Yeah.
And I would say this would become probably some trend in the future because obviously of privacy concerns. When I writing text on my personal laptop, I could use names, some financial data, whatever.
Yeah.
And Whisperflow uses cloud model to process them. Again, I don't want those things to be leaked. And modern devices, starting from laptops and ending with smartphones, they already support not large language models, but something in between. They're more complex than just language models and allow to translation on the flight. They allow also...
That's actually good, yeah.
Yes, recognizing your voice, giving some suggestions, and data remain on your device. I think in future, infrastructure, processors still developing, and we will have more and more of those things because obviously another huge advantage is token price. So all cloud models, they charging you for user tokens.
That's true, actually, yeah.
Current agreement on the industry, there's no proven data, but although tokens already cost something, they're highly subsidized. And in future, when, for example, Anthropic, who develops Cloud Code, goes for IPO and they already get their share market, they will align their business to make it fair.
Yeah,
and suddenly, some processes which are totally make sense from business perspective now become too expensive.
That's true.
This already happened back then with Google Maps, for example, when it started, almost free map service, let's integrate it in any site. And then Google changed their politics overnight, increasing price 10 times, I think, based on the user base.
Yeah.
And a lot of small sites for next few years were just hosting logo, hey, map is not available.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
And with AI, impact will be much bigger. And I anticipate more and more businesses relied on local models. I also heard about big corporations level of Siemens or OMV developing their models in-house. Because let's be honest, ChatGPT mostly trained on simple Wikipedia level data. When you ask something really deep, it often either hallucinates
precise. Yeah.
or does not give you specific question. And for big industrial clients, it's crucial to know what technology from their portfolio they're supposed to use.
Right, that's
and of
clear.
course, they
Should be
don't
more
want to
internal
share
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're building infrastructure themselves.
Yeah, well, it takes some time, of course, to actually build it, then to train it, and interconnection. That's what is interesting. That's what I find extremely interesting in your work. That first, it became very strategic. The second, it's the architect, which is on the higher level. It means that you are affecting the whole infrastructure, and it's extremely important. So I can't wait to see the changes in Willhaben more and more. Well, I know that you participated in multiple conferences recently. I've seen you also on LinkedIn posting that you've been a speaker in different events, which I congratulate you. I think you're supposed to start earlier, much earlier. You're really good in that. Can you share what did you bring out from the conferences with a simple language, of course? So just what new is coming, what people are sharing from your specialization, from your industries, right? What they are actually feeling, what is going on, what's happening?
Yeah. In first place, I bring a lot of excitement and motivation from each conference. It's so worth it. I could not agree more. I should start earlier. On the other hand, my English was on not good level back then. On the other hand, I had smaller experience, and on a conference, usually you meet fantastic guys, like top of the industry, and
Right, yeah.
you would like to ask smart questions, not like
Not just
something
any questions.
dumb
yeah.
chat. Yes.
Like we've got today, right? No,
No,
just joking. I'm joking.
no.
I'm joking.
Yes, beginning of last week, I have been on EOSConf 26 in Skopje, North Macedonia.
Yeah.
And although the place itself is a bit remote, let's be honest.
Really
but
far? Is it far from the main
it's
city?
1.5 hour flight, but it's Balkans between Kosovo and Albania.
Interesting
but-
location, to be honest. for
Interesting
this type of-
location, but it attracted a lot of international speakers, also from United States, United Kingdom, all over the Europe, and it was really exciting and also slightly different from previous conferences because as by my career I'm mostly iOS developer, I tend to visit those conferences, and they were mostly focused about Apple ecosystem, not only about iOS, but about macOS, about Vision Pro, Apple devices, let's put it this way. Last conference was, I would say, half-half.
I didn't know actually that they split it so badly. I understand they do split, but I saw that conferences are going kind of like all together because you need to implement, if we're talking about applications, for example, you need to implement them in both devices, right? It's like it's impossible to do it separately, is it?
Depends. Of course, it's
Some,
possible
yes.
to implement separately, and there are valid business cases when big products even started with one platform. I think Snapchat started only with iOS app and then added Android, and there are a few other examples.
Yeah, but still, it's kind of like, delay is not that long. If it's successful, right, it just appears everywhere,
Yes.
more or less.
But also, at least previously, there was some specific specialization. So as developers rarely did some Android and other vice versa.
Yeah.
And when as a person you decide where you go in your professional field. But this year, the point was that half of the materials were about AI, how we use AI, how we integrate this in workflow, what skills we should maintain to work with AI better. And most two interesting topics were about guidance of AI and conscious about using tokens, because it's so easy to burn them, to just ask question without specifying details. For example, you telling AI, hey, could you please button in the right corner? AI does not have eyes. It barely knows what does it mean, right? Which corner you meant.
that's clear.
So it reads the whole project. It tries to make sense from layout, internal architecture of layout. So after 5 minutes, find the button. This costs you €5 instead of you saying, hey, in this file, this line, the button is defined, adjust it.
Yeah.
Such things. And Second big topic was, of course, anxiety about future job security. What skills might be important in the future for developers? There was a big focus that knowing about software architecture is as important as it could be. Being curious and ready to go T-shape into different fields is very important. So in future, I would expect to, as you said, see more conferences which bridge between platforms. Even between my colleagues in Willhaben, I see that best people become curious and start to try to do something from backend for Android, learn new technologies, because AI is a very good teacher as well. And regarding your concern that we losing our memory and rely on AI too much, the thing is, it depends how you use it. If you delegate your creativity to AI, or if you just trust it blindly, then yes, you kind of hostage of AI.
Yeah.
If you let AI prove you, be your sparring partner, be your teacher, your critique, then it works the best. And this was one of suggestions how junior developers supposed to learn the trade now. Not use AI to blindly implement stuff, because then he will never learn. AI will do this. But implement himself, having AI as a teacher on the side, correcting his moves, verifying what he has done, providing with ideas, but still keeping responsibility on human side.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
that's
this
not
responsibility
gonna
is a cornerstone of the future industry. This is my thought, and most people agree that you're accountable for the code you ship, no matter how you did it. You might wrote yourself, you might ask AI, or maybe make some ritual and dark magic brought this code. Doesn't matter. If you ship this code, you're responsible for this. So the same with cars with autopilot. You're required to keep your hands on the wheel, because it has legal consequences if you don't. Accident happens.
Yes, correct.
In software, it's, let's say, a bit less dangerous, but still it is a thing. You have to keep your hands on the wheel.
It depends on the software, to be honest, because we're talking about big industries and production, and software effects, or let's say navigates within the production might be, of course, due to the failure, it might bring some accidents. But yeah, I don't think that we should turn into this tragic direction. Well, I love what's happening right now, because I started to operate in this industry a lot. I opened the business in this direction. I opened the podcast discussing those topics. And I think we should, of course, keep growing and developing this more and more. Otherwise, I would have nothing left to talk about. And I'm really happy that actually it brings so many opportunities right now to absolutely different people. And as you said, it depends on them if they grab this opportunity or not. It's not easy to learn something when you are 50, for example, right? Especially after this huge transition, because it comes in every business, in every industry in different ways. And yeah, I see people struggling, because change management exists. And when you implement something new, or I've seen the companies turning digital. So they were literally just heavy industries or production, and they started to turn business, and eventually it became digital business instead of the production or something. And that changes everything. And of course, it affects people who used to work for these companies, right? You either stay and you learn, and you use all these tools in a proper way, or creativity. It's not easy to bring this, new boost of motivation, but still. Or you leave the company, unfortunately, and probably, move to another business. Well, coming to the conclusion slowly. I understand and I feel you when you motivate people to go for different conferences. I think it's getting more and more entertaining. And I also open a lot of new interesting things or apps, or even the approach from the business perspective or business development, how to approach the market. Actually, it's changing a lot, and it's interesting openings for different business. So I really find it good as business cases, for example, and it's changing fast. So as you said, in 1 month, everything can change. Your platforms you're working with, or I've seen the projects when people started and they literally seen that they've been behind for 1 year. And basically all the time they were planning something new for the following year. They had to be extremely agile to adjust because everything was changing. The ecosystem was changing around. That's why they had to adjust their product a lot and this strategy around it. So I would ask you again, that's my usual traditional question on what type of, let's not say skills, but what type of direction probably the newcomers into the business, the new generation, should look into. How do you feel? If we're talking about those who have real serious technical skills or interest in something technical or math or physics, what they should actually, which direction it's better to go?
Well, it's really hard to map directions because it also very much based on personal preferences. But more or less mutual agreement that most important skill is curiosity. Curiosity and be open-minded and ready to communicate with other people. Because technical parts of business, they will be eventually covered by AI. In many cases, I have seen that AI has written better code than I would do. It covers more corner cases and...
That's why it was created, right? That's the idea.
Yes. Sometimes it needs corrections, sometimes it's already better, and it evolves so fast. But taking decisions, looking in new fields, it still remains human's privilege, I would put it this way, because AI doesn't have free will. So it would just do whatever you asked. And if you try to operate on, let's say, business owner level, it would be too general.
Yeah.
It would not cover needs of your company. You will get some smart looking advices. Would they work for your company? I'm not 100% sure, because you need this gut feeling that, okay, yeah, I have to be unique. Business to advance has to be till certain level unique to get this place. And therefore, my suggestion would be to be open. Don't be afraid experimenting. Try to fight this sense of FOMO we all have now. Okay, some big things are just going somewhere. I just read on the internet, guy run marketing agency agent which makes 10,000 euros per month for him. Those mostly lies and hype. I have not seen scientific proofs for those people, but still it is exciting time, and you should not keep your opinions for long, and you should always validate them. Maybe I'm a bit in privileged position because I have been developing stuff the whole life, and it's the same game actually.
For you,
because I started with PHP and Adobe Flash. Who remembers now Adobe Flash? It's gone. I switched to different technologies, and I started iOS development with Objective-C. If I would stuck with Objective-C, I would not find a job right now, probably. You need to learn. You need to evolve together with the life. And I understand that for elderly people, it might be a bit challenging, but it is what it is. If you approach such people carefully, suggest first steps, and then they get this intrinsic motivation. Oh, I tried and it actually worked. My father is a scientist. He is still writing articles, and he could translate them in English, but I suggested, hey, give it a try, make proofread with ChatGPT. And first he was super skeptical, okay, what it's gonna do with my scientific text.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it appeared that it fixes articles or just suggests to break two large sentences into two smaller ones, and they digested better. And actually style improved.
Yeah.
Then this was a confirmation that, oh, okay, this is actually a useful tool.
Absolutely. Well, do you believe that junior position is going to disappear? I'm not saying that everyone is going to be hired immediately director, but still the junior position as we remembered it, the assistant at the very beginning and so on, is going to disappear. Because basically AI and different tools, they kind of like help a lot, and efficiency is covering their job, I would say, the assistant job, if it's not manual.
I would say they would transform because, yes, being assistant in classical way would not work, but still having human sentient being caring about stuff in your company, its advantages and new people, young people, they bring fantastic ideas.
Creativity,
and they were born already in the time when touchscreens were kind of obvious.
You know how they call the generation? They call them glass generation.
Glass generation, yes. So a lot of things, a lot of barriers, the more senior people have even operating with AI are psychological, because we just got this technology and we carefully approach them. Young people just like to experiment, take risk. And
they already do that.
I heard about few leading companies that they hiring juniors still just to broaden the view.
So intentionally they are trying to stimulate
to bring this creativity, to bring this motivation on board. Because I could motivate you saying, yeah, you're doing great, fantastic.
Well, I would be motivated.
It's still not comparable with young person who really, burns with urge to do something, to improve stuff, questioning stuff. Questioning stuff is also very important. When you have done something for 5 years and it works, why would you change it? And then junior developer comes and say, hey, by the way, have you heard about this technology? It might be valid, but it might be not. But it's an impulse to validate what you're using. And this purely human curiosity, motivation, and kind of fun, it's priceless. And it's why I believe that companies will still, good companies, will still hire junior developers.
Yeah, so be curious, be bold, and be flexible.
Yes, and move in the future instead of being rigid in their processes.
That's great. Well, I couldn't conclude it even better, to be honest. Oleksii, thank you very much for your time. Thank you that you actually grabbed this opportunity right away. And I'm happy to have you here. I hope that it's not the last time. I'm going to also run few events, and I will invite you also where we will discuss AI, digitalization, and all the technologies boom that we've got right now. Hope you will also participate in these events. Again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your exclusive knowledge and experience. I find it really, first precise. It's not plain at all. It's very, very dynamic. And it was always, as you said, as a developer, you were doing something that you could touch right away and test right away. That's not everyone actually could have done before, to be honest. So that's amazing. Thank you for your time. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I had a lot of fun talking with you, and I would be happy to come back at some point and continue the chat.
Sounds great. Thank you very much. Please subscribe and like or comment this video. We would really appreciate your support. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.